Hello, and thank you for your interest in VeraLab. This demo assumes that you have successfully downloaded and installed VeraLab Suite. If you haven't done so, please refer to our Getting Started demo video. Once you completed installation of VeraLab Suite, you should be able to log in using web interface and start configuring your environment. The login URL is typically in the form of HTTP, and then followed by the server name, and then default port is 8080/VeraLab. Default username and password are admin, and the password is password. If it's your production environment, we highly recommend changing admin password right away. To do so, log in using these default credentials, admin password, and then click on Users task or tab and click Edit icon next to admin user. Here you can update password with some different password, and then repeat the password here, update these two fields, then scroll down and click Update button in the bottom of the page. You can add more users, but this is not required at this point. We'll just go ahead and use admin user to perform our setups. So here I'd like to introduce a few definitions to help you understand application and certain dependencies. First, VeraLab supports two sign-on scenarios. This was mentioned in the installation demo. In this setup demo, I'll be using both scenarios. So in other words, we have a mixed environment. Imagine a computing lab that is part of campus library. Let's take a look at the sample floor plan diagram. It has a counter area, counter or help desk, and then there is an area where all your workstations are, and there might be some area where you have printers, scanners, and etc. So users, typically students, need to, well, when they come in, they need to check in at the counter station, and then they proceed to workstation and start working on their homework, assignment, do research, or play a computer game. In order to enforce check-in and check-out in this environment, you would be probably using some sort of process where lab assistant would scan student's ID card using barcode reader or magnetic stripe reader, and they will place it in, let's say, a wall-mounted ID card holder with pockets behind the counter. In order to get ID card back, student must check out again at the counter station, and that would end his or her session. Second scenario is self-service scenario. Self-service sign-in. This assumes that you have some sort of central directory where all user accounts are stored. This can be MSID or other ODAP directory, Novel, OpenODAP, any ODAP directory. VeraLab allows you to integrate with such directory, and students in such case no longer need to check in at the counter station. So they proceed directly to the facility where self-service is enabled, and they sign on directly at client workstations using their campus credentials. Let me give you an example. So here we have a client station. It is hooked up to Novel LDAP directory, and I enter username. Let's say username is tomato, and the credentials, password. So VeraLab at this point validates credentials. It looks up the account record and the directory, and allows to log in into workstation, and then that's when the session starts. When users finish their work, they either log off using log off button, or the system automatically signs them out after several minutes of idle time. So now we understand how VeraLab system works, so let's proceed with configuration. Please refer to this workflow diagram. You have two options: perform step-by-step manual configuration or import all objects using spreadsheet template. So let's go back to VeraLab screen. So first you define counters. In this demo we have one counter. So here is very simple. You enter name and description. So we have learning commons and click save or update button. Here I have everything already pre-configured, but I'm going to show you again how to add or edit an object. So if you have installation, fresh installation, you'll have no counters defined, you'll have no objects defined, so you have to click add counter. So now we go to rooms, click on rooms task, and you would add a room. So I have two rooms. One is self-service classroom and one is a counter sign-on scenario library room. So here I would enter room name, description, which counter it belongs to. I have only one counter defined. Then maximum class registration time, this is default 8 hours. And then the sign-in mode. So in this library room I have counter sign-in scenario enabled. And a couple of things important is if you want to display it in student portal, there is a student portal link here. Student portal doesn't require any login, so you would probably put it somewhere on internet where users can log in and see what is the status of the lab, how many computers are available, how many computers are in use. And if you have a counter sign-in scenario, then you would need to set up the locking mode to strict. Strict locking mode basically means that you have computer screens locked if they are if no one is checked in into that computer, and if as soon as someone checks out from the computer, the screen is locked. There are two other modes: is liberal and no locking mode. Liberal is typically for self-service scenario. Click update. Now let's go back to our flowchart. So we defined rooms, and now I will need to define images and models. Images and models are used for categorization only. Images is a software for software categorization. What kind of images you can have? For example, same room where Mac computers are running, and where you have Windows 7 or Windows XP, different sections in the same room. So this helps you to have a better picture of your environment. So again, it's very simple form. You just input the image name and operating system and some image software specific to that image. We define images, then we define models. Models are also for categorization, but it's more on the hardware side. So we can define a model name, you can define CPU speed, and you can define the amount of memory installed, how large is hard drive, and some other additional information about that model. So once you defined all these counters, rooms, images, and models, you are ready to define stations. Add new stations. So you select a room where you add stations, and then click Add Workstation button, and you will be presented with a form where you need to enter the information about station. So the reason why we had to define room and image and model before is because here you have to make a selection. So these are some sort of dependencies. These are mandatory fields, mandatory attributes. Everything else is not required. It's optional. And you click Date, Add button, and you continue with all the stations. Here are some other tasks. So this is pretty much it in terms of setups. Again, you can define more users. These are VeraLab application users. These are not your students or patrons of the library or computing lab facility. These are your application users. This can be hourly workers, some student assistants, lab assistants, manager, technician, administrator, similar roles that you can see. You can see the roles here in the drop-down menu. These are defined roles, and when you add users, you also define all these details about the user, what roles they have: administrator, supervisor, manager, technician. What is the primary role? That would be the landing page. If it's an hourly employee, then you can check mark, and then there is some additional information. This will be used later for payroll and clock in, clock out functionality. You have first name, last name, password, email, and start date. Last object to define is semesters. Can be your quarter. Your campus can be operating in quarters or semesters. This is just a period of time, and it is used in reporting only. So it just helps you later have some predefined periods of time. When summer quarter started, when summer quarter ended. You can also define breaks, for example, summer break or spring break. So these are just helping you to define the periods of time for the reporting purposes. There is a settings tab. There are a lot of settings. I would highly recommend to go through the documentation. In most cases, the default settings work just fine, but sometimes you need to configure your environment. You can define VeraLab Server or some other make some other adjustments. So there is tons of additional settings. Again, we recommend keeping most of them default, but when you define your environment, some of them need to be adjusted. And you can find more information in Administrator's Guide, Installation Administrator's Guide, how to manipulate these settings. The About page is where you upload your license information. By default, you will be downloading trial version, 30-day free trial version, and once you complete the purchase, you will get a license key, a new license key, and you would upload license here. This concludes this session, demo session. If you have any questions, you can send us an email to sales@veralab.com or support@veralab.com if you are already a customer, and we'll answer all your additional questions. Thank you.